Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ed3 podcast, where we explore the future of learning. We are so thrilled to have a double guest today, all the way from the West Coast. Kaz Keller is exploring what is possible and how you can continue to not only learn, but teach at any age, and how the future of learning is not held back by age or ability, but rather by interest. And we are so thrilled to learn a little bit about what's possible in this new age. So, Kaz, Sam, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Great
Good to
to
be
have
with
you. So Kaz, I know you've been working on a cool project. So tell us a little bit about what you have been doing the past couple of weeks and months.
Well, in the past couple of weeks and months, I've actually been teaching people how to use ChatGPT. This is an upcoming and rising AI tool that more and more people are adapting to. And I'm trying to teach the people who don't really know how to adapt to this, so that they too can use this and don't have to fear as much of the chance that AI might take over their jobs.
So AI hasn't taken your job, Kaz?
I mean, I kind of created my job using AI.
Exactly. That's amazing. So tell us how old you are, what grade you're in.
I'm 12 years old. I'm going into 8th grade, and I'm Kaz.
That's great. Well, Sam, let's ask you, how did Kaz bring this up, or how did this kind of get started? Did he ask you if you could start using ChatGPT, or did you encourage him, or how did that sort of start?
I was
Oh.
the way I first found out about it is I was actually watching a video about someone who was trying to seeing if like an AI could do something. And after I saw that video, I was like, I want to try out this AI. It seems cool. So I searched up a little more. I read the description, and it said they were using this new thing called Chat GPT. I didn't know what that was at the time. So it was like a few days after its release. And so I was like, okay, sure. I mean, I'll try it out. So I signed up, all that, right while we were driving in a car. And it was so crazy. Like, I had to tell my dad about it. Like, Dad, you need to see this. Because it was like just a really cool tool.
So after he brought it to my attention, we learned to use it together. And then subsequently, he had the idea that he could help not only me and his mom use it, but others. And so we put a message on Nextdoor, the platform that connects community members. And I basically said that, look, I've got a 12-year-old boy. He's a bit of a whiz when it comes to computers. My wife and I don't know where he gets it because neither one of us are that way. But he's offering to teach a 1-hour course on the new AI tool, ChatGPT. He's looking to charge $20 per person so that he could upgrade his computer. If you're interested, let us know. And the next morning, there was well over 100 comments. We were just getting flooded with interest. So we looked at the calendar, with school and soccer and tennis, stuff like that. And we found some windows where he could provide 3 classes right over there at that table where we could seat 5 people. And we used ChatGPT to figure out what would be the best platform to do this. And it advised us to use Eventbrite. So we posted on Nextdoor these 3 dates, and literally overnight, they all sold out. So we thought, oh my gosh, there's something here. So we found 4 more dates, put those up. They sold out right away too. And then of all the comments, people were asking, could we also do it virtually, via Zoom? So we put some of those dates, and now we're up to over how many classes have you done?
I mean, honestly, I've lost count, but I'd say around 10 to 30, somewhere in there.
He has been teaching people younger than him, and that some parents have brought people even younger than him. But he's also had classes where there's not only people younger than him or his age, but high school students. There have been college students, parents, and then people up into their 90s. So this kid has managed classrooms with that kind of age diversity. And then some people coming jazzed to learn about this because they think it's just going to really help them with their productivity. And other people are fearful that they're going to lose their job and not be so employable.
Who's the hardest type of student, Kaz? Is it the 90-year-old or the teenager?
Honestly, the hardest for me is when someone comes barely knowing how to open up like Safari, because it's a bunch of extra steps to make sure that they're able to use ChatGPT compared to someone who, like, is already pretty foreign and who's already signed up, and where all I need to do is just teach them by doing my presentation, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, with AI, I know you get to personalize. You can tell it, talk to me in the voice of a character or give me information as if you were an expert in this area. So, what are some of your favorite personalizations to give AI? What are some of the things you ask frequently?
I usually, like, I'd say around 75% of the time I use it, I just use it for coding because before this
Mm,
thing came out, I've been doing a lot of coding. And with ChatGPT coming out, I'm able to code really fast. So I can get all that code coming out really fast. And then since I know how to code, I can look at the code, fix all the errors myself. But it's just a much faster way to get coding done. Like, and I imagine programmers who use this are able to have a lot more time on their hands and
Mhm.
get a lot more done because they're able to generate
Mm.
all this code and then chill while it's
Yeah.
doing.
And then in terms of the personas, when Kaz is giving his classes, what I observe is you seem to pretty consistently get everyone to laugh. So trigger that motion of laughter, unite everybody in that sense. And what I see you doing is say, write a joke in the style of, and he gets everybody to name a famous comedian, and then about, and he gets everybody to determine what the joke will be about. So it adopts the persona of a famous comedian.
Yeah.
I see you also when you ask the audience, name something that you've been wanting to learn, something complex that you've wished you could understand. It's been on your to-do list. And so just in the session you did last night, someone said, what's the difference between nuclear fission and nuclear fusion? And it explained, but then you had it.
Write it in the style of Donald Trump, which was really funny because Donald Trump, it was really.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. And it really hit home the learning value because in very professional copy, it answered the question, the difference between nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. But then suddenly, when it's seemingly Donald Trump talking about boom, whoa, it's fabulous, it's amazing, all that stuff, doesn't matter what end of the political spectrum you're on, it was funny and it really illuminated
yeah.
difference.
Yeah, and I mean that would make learning fun. If someone didn't like learning, you have them just name a comedian they like, and all they're learning can be in the style of that language. That's really where the superpowers of AI can really come in.
Right. How does this change how you think about school? Because you're learning about fusion and fission from ChatGPT. So why do you go to school? What do you get out of that versus ChatGPT?
Honestly, school is a fun way to interact with friends, and you learn stuff that AI cannot yet teach you, and you also get to have the experience of hanging out with friends, having laughs when a kid messes around. You know, it's just like you can't really get that experience yet online. Like, so that's where it's so kind of nice to go to school. Like, even though after some time you do get excited for summer, it's just nice to be able to go to school. But schools definitely need to change their curriculum, I think, because teachers really need to start teaching about ChatGPT and how to use it, and then also teach with ChatGPT because then make everyone learn faster and learn better.
We're currently in a situation where in some of his classes, it's teachers who come paying the $20 to learn from him, including one of your substitute
One of
teachers.
my subs by doing one of my
Well, Kane. Yeah.
yeah, one of my subs did it. And one of my main teachers for language arts, it's kind of ironic, is considering doing one of them.
Sam, to kind of ask you, like, have you noticed any changes as he started doing this in terms of, teaching adults is not something that a lot of kids get to do. And I'm curious if you see that reflected in confidence or in interactions with other adults.
I'll respond to that by saying, and I'll describe the different things, but they all culminate in giving me as a parent, essentially what I think every parent would want to have and what I would hope for every parent to have, which is a certain kind of peace of mind that your kid is on a good trajectory. What I have seen is this is a kid who has been teaching classes, not just in that table that I showed you there, but that couldn't accommodate the demand. So he's been using some of his revenues to rent the boardroom at the Mill Valley Community Center. We're talking a quintessential boardroom, big, long table, tall, black leatherback chairs, big screen at one end. And I've gotten to watch my son, m- honestly, masterfully manage a boardroom. Now, some of the teachers who've come have given him great feedback to where he's now able to say, like, if you could just hold that question for one moment. This 12-year-old is able to manage a room like that. And he's able to manage a room sometimes with AI experts in attendance. I mean, it's well-earned confidence. He knows that he can go into a boardroom with his teachers, with AI experts, with 90-year-olds, with teenagers, with college students, and he can handle it, and he can handle all the questions. So there's a confidence that comes from that. And so to see him grow and be able to handle these interviews and to share his views and, increasingly kind of influence, hopefully, how public policy addresses this. It's been profound. He's in a different trajectory. It's been a radical change in the kid's life trajectory, and it gives me a lot of comfort.
Well, you sound proud and you should be. Yaz, I'm wondering, now that you're a teacher, how do you feel about your teachers? How do you kind of think about the work that they do?
I think that the work that they do is really good because for me, I'm only doing it for an hour, but they're doing it with kids for like almost 8 hours every day for almost half a year. And then they have to do a bunch of extra grading and all that. I think that's really hard. And I'm only teaching one thing whereas they're teaching like a huge array of stuff to where I still really respect how good they are at their thing. Cause like for me, it's tiring to do 1 hour. After an hour, I just want to sit back and chill. But for them, they have to do that for 8 hours, then do some grading, and then they can get back to their home. It's really like, I admire that.
That's amazing. And do you have anything that you hope to work in or do when you get out of, your right age of 12?
I think I really want to become like a programmer, and also, I mean, it would be kind of nice to become maybe a little influential to help other kids, do this stuff. We're doing this prodigy program that teaches other kids like me how to do what I'm doing. We give them like all the things they need. And it's really cool because it means that like I don't have to be the only one. And it's like really cool how we are teaching like other kids and adults how to teach like I teach, which is really cool.
What is the policy in your school? Are teachers encouraging other students to do what you're doing, or is it all outside of the classroom?
Well, in our school, ChatGPT is not allowed. It's like that's a referral. And they know that, like, all my teachers know what I was doing. When they saw me in the Marin IJ, they were like amazed. And so they definitely are like really like thinking that's sick, but like they aren't really encouraging other kids to do it.
Well, Kaz, what questions would you have for the people who are building these AI tools? What would you ask them about either what's coming or how they built it or other things you might want to know more about that maybe you're not
Right
there?
now, I'm trying to code my own AI tool,
Okay.
like but I really want to know how do they do it? How do they make a fully functional neural network and have it learn from a data set?
That is a great question. I don't know if I have the answer for you, but I think you're going to figure it out. And Kaz, what advice would you give someone who is maybe hasn't explored it or is a little bit scared?
If you haven't explored it yet, or you're maybe scared of it, I mean, there's gonna be more harm done to you if you do not explore it or look into it, even if you're scared, because if you're scared, I mean, I feel you, but you also got to eventually learn about this. Like, people were scared when calculators came out. They thought students would have no brain power anymore because they could just do all the calculations on a calculator, but that's not the facts anymore. Now it's just calculators are a part of life. And same with the computers and now ChatGPT. So you gotta explore it, even if you're scared and you don't want it. You kind of gotta explore.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for being on the show. We will look forward to seeing your next lessons, and thanks for sharing the potential of AI with us, Kaz.